Hey man, you already know what it is, man. It's the You Heard Pod, the fastest rising UN podcast in the game, man. You know what we're gonna talk about, man. So what's going on, Joe? Before we get into this intro, hit stick, bust dick, talk shit. You
You
already
see it.
know.
You
I,
see
I
it.
mean, what else we got to say, right? What else we
You
got to
see
say?
it. You see
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna talk that talk, man. You know
Yeah.
we explicit out here. Let's get into this intro.
Welcome to the You Heard Podcast.
I'm hurt, dog.
Ben and Joe break down all things Miami Hurricanes football.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell no.
From hot topics to pre- and post-game analysis.
Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
You heard.
I put my heart in this, dog.
Yo, fam, before we get into this DC talk, right? Because that's what I'm saying, that's what this is today. How many I watched that Zoe and listened to that Zoe pod like twice, and I learned something different every time. And we were in it. Because when you're in it, you like thinking of questions and all this shit. I caught so many gems. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That shit.
Yeah. I watched it, man. I watched it again. I never watch our stuff over again. Full disclosure.
Me neither. Because
You
we in it. Why would we?
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I did watch this again one time, man. And it was just a good moment, man. I just love listening to older people talk.
Yeah, facts.
Listening to grandma, grandpops, you know what I mean? Older heads. Not that, I'm super young, but Zoe been in the game, he's done it, man. I like listening to people who have done it, man, and been in the game, even if you haven't done it. If you've been on this earth for 50, 60, 70 years, you deserve the right to speak, man. And people need to
for real, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Like it felt like a master class. You know what I mean? Like he's just talking to like I was just like, just go, Zoe. Just go. Like say this the floor is yours, man. We'll ask a couple questions. So when he dropped that 1,460 days, like that reaction you had, I was like, I gotta cut this and put this up on the you know what I'm saying, on Twitter, man. That shit was crazy.
Man, hey, come on, man. Let's
you already know. Let's hydrate, baby. Let's
courtesy of Cane's wear.
Man. Hey. You know what I mean?
Here in Florida, in the Miami area, in Broward County, best spot.
Yeah, man.
There in April.
Yes,
no doubt.
Oh yeah, we coming early. Just be ready.
Going around the corner to Christoph's Cafe to eat.
Yes, sir.
I don't think they know about that.
Nah, I don't. I don't know about Broward too much, but
I'm gonna find out. Yeah, you're gonna find out.
I'm ready. All right. All right, man. Let's get it. I'm ready for that, man. Hey, yo, real quick. I'm not getting on no boat, bro. I just want to full disclosure.
I'm not that dude either, but we just in the bay, son, chilling. You know what I mean? We just in the bay chilling, man.
You don't understand the level. No, son, even
the
with
boat ain't going nowhere.
Son,
we could dock
I could look at the boat. I'll be like, oh man, that's a crazy ass boat right there. Oh, that's a nice boat you got, fam. That's what's up, man. Congrats on that boat. Ain't fucking with it, bro.
We're not getting in the ocean, son.
Son, any of this motion popping? Nah, I'm out. I'm tapping out on that one, man. All right, man. Let's get into this. All right, man. So yesterday, we get a new DC, 36 hours after Kevin Steele left. So, Mario was working on this before. We're going to get into the social media reaction. But right now, we're going to talk about the stats that, I'm saying, he put up at Marshall. I loved what he tweeted out. You know what I'm saying? I know you got that graphic ready. But, man, like, I didn't, like, there's the reaction with it was, it's got to be proven. Had that. We'll get into that. But right now, let's get into these stats and what he tweeted out, man. What you got, fam?
Yeah, man. These stats were owned by 2022 Marshall coaches and players only. Each year is different.
Facts.
So what that's saying to me is that he understands that was 2020. You know what I mean? We did that. We did what we did in 2020. This year, 2023, is a different story. Yep. And it's important to understand that, because when we talk about coaches and their track record, a lot of cats say, I want to coach with a track record and I want a coach who did this and did that. Yeah, cool. But when they came to Miami, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Facts.
You know, that's all we want. Like, we want coaches when they come to Miami that can Miami's a different beast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From the coaches to players, even players when you come, it's a different animal. So you got to come in and get busy. You got to connect with these players. You got to connect with the coaches down here. You got to connect with the fan. You got to connect with the culture. You know what I mean? In Miami. And I think, and this is just a tweet. You know, everybody talks until you win it. You know what I mean? You talk until you win it. Yep. So I'm sure he's excited and ready to work, man. But, you know, I saw the defense up close and personal, you know, and you know, I like what I saw. You know what I mean? I like what I saw when I seen it. My son was in there, you know, it was only for the spring. So, you know, don't get it twisted. It was just for the spring, but you get to see a lot in spring. You get to see install. You know, you get to see teaching in the spring. You know what I mean? My son, that's the best he looked, man. He looked good in that defense. He had an amazing spring game. He looked good in that defense, man. The ends looked good. The defense was aggressive, man. Multiple looks. Multiple.
I like that already.
Confusing the offense, you know what I mean? Physical. You know, the one thing, there's a few things that bother me when I watch defensive football, but the one thing that bothers me is when you have corners supposedly playing bump and run, but they don't get their hands on the receivers. Like, I can't stand that. So if you're blitzing and you're playing man behind it, you have to get hands on the receivers
throughout the timing,
affect the route and affect the timing. You know what I mean? You have to do that. Facts. So we are playing. I've seen us play bump and run, and nobody gets hands on the receivers, man.
I don't even see them extend their hands. Like, I don't even see like the hands come up to try to. You know what I mean? It's not like they run by them. They're just like, all right, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's we saw that too much.
That's frustrating to me, man. And I yell at the TV all the time about that shit. Like, what are we doing? So what I did see from his corners are physicality, man. They got their hands on the receivers. You know what I mean? Disrupted the route, disrupted the timing, got them off base. You know what I mean? So I like that, man. We'll get into these numbers. You know, basically top 20 in every important defensive statistic in the country. Yep. Not top 20 in the conference, not top 20 in the group of five in the country. You know what I mean? What's important, and I posted this earlier, the stop rate is very impressive to me. So if we don't know, stop rate is when you stop the offense, you force them to punt, you force a turnover. Basically, you don't let them score.
Yep.
Or you force a turnover on downs. And he was second in the country in that, man.
Yep.
For a team like our defense, for a team like Miami and our defense, who had trouble getting off the field.
All the time. I mean,
let's give it a buck. Yep. Yeah, on third down, fourth down, whatever. We had trouble.
Didn't matter.
Yeah. That's important. That's an important statistic, man. Yards per play, third in the country. What? That's impressive, man.
Yep.
That's very impressive, man. You know what I mean? Turnovers, interceptions, 6th in the country. Total defense, 8th in the country. Third down defense, which is what we just talked about. First in the country in third down defense. So they're getting off the field, man. Getting off the field. You letting their defense rest. You getting off the field, man. You know what I mean?
You know what was crazy to me was like how people nitpick the hire in the way they're like, oh, but who did he do it against?
Mm-hmm.
Who did we do it against?
Yeah.
Name, you know what I'm saying? Like, who did we play that we stopped?
Yeah, fact. So we played a group of 5 team
lost
that ran through us.
Yep.
So if we're saying a group
80
of
yards
5,
at a time.
if we saying a group of 5 is not competition, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, is it or is it not? You know what I mean? So,
but that's the thing that I'm saying, right? It's like situational.
Yeah,
it's like it's group of 5 when it's my point, but it's not group of 5 when it's against my point.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like a tackle. Zoe said it, man. Football is easy. It's still run, block, tackle.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. Football at the end of the day is easy.
And we got to get and to another point, we got to get out. I feel like people are in old school mentality or thinking about football 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just like college basketball. Smaller schools are catching up. You know what I mean? No, they not going to be in the playoff getting busy. They're not going to challenge Bama, Georgia. They're going to get blown out. Most likely, yes. But it's not the hugest disparity like it was before.
Yeah.
Group of 5s can compete with some schools like ours right now. You know what I mean? They can compete. So it ain't like it ain't like it was, man.
This notion and this thought, you're right, man. Like this thought that like, oh, they're weaker because they're a group of like some people don't have the grades, some people still have the talent. You know what I'm saying? Like there's all these factors that go into it. And guess what? Those group of 5 kids still go to the league and ball out. There's
plenty
of dudes in the league that you never heard of that are top 5 at their position in the league that you never heard of. So this whole thing, like I like his ability to evolve in coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like coach it differently. He does teach an aggressive secondary because he's a secondary coach by trade. He's a DC coach overall. I'm saying in my research last night, reading different articles and watching video. Obviously, watched the Hilltopper. I'm saying the Hilltopper clip that went viral. Shout out to Steve Smith, Senior, even retweeting it. But man, like I didn't understand. Like, look, full disclosure, I never heard of the dude till yesterday, right? But I also did. I was like, oh, I can't make my decision because I don't know who this dude is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And the thing is, also, I'm not going to make any decision and be like bad hire, good hire, because he still has to teach these freshmen coming in, install that defense, see how, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be guys that might not work with this defensive coordinator in the spring, and my transfer guys might come in. So to make any decision, be like, oh, this ain't it, Mario. It's illogical. Like, it does
either way.
Like to have any decision on it. You know what I'm saying? It's dumb, yo. Like it doesn't make sense to me. It was like, I love this hire. Like, you didn't know he existed 15 minutes before this tweet, fam.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you make this whole decision to go on this whole rant and do this snap shit? I was like, yo, like, chill, man. Like, you could talk about it because you've seen him. Saying it, we need an experienced guy. We had an 85-year-old defensive coordinator last year that's seen every defense since, you know what I'm saying, since the halfback option. Yeah. Like, how good was that? How good was that against Middle Tennessee State?
Yeah, facts.
Like, what are we talking about, man? Like,
we talking about talent. Everybody, talent, man. You got to have the talent in the building. Well, this guy coached without the talent in the building. You know what I mean? He didn't have the talent that we had. You know what I mean? So he coached without it. Let's see what happens when he has that talent. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Hopefully he can get these guys to buy in and play hard. You know what I mean? And get it. Hopefully he can do that. What I've seen, he's a motivator, man. He's a motivator. He knows how to talk. He knows how to relate. And he knows how to teach. That is very important. And he has the energy. You know what I mean? Not saying Coach Steele didn't have all that. But like you mentioned, he's an older guy, man. You know what I mean? He may not have had the fire. Coach Strong may not have had the fire that is needed on that side of the ball. Like I've always said, on the defensive side of the ball, me personally, I like a younger cat. You know what I mean? With some fire. Offensive side, whatever. But
be whatever,
defensive side, man, I need somebody,
fiery.
You know what I mean?
I want somebody damn near disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like to a point. we're like, yo, man, I need you to go kill this motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want somebody like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Like, it happens in my day. Like, start talking, give you like some old proverb and shit. Like, well, in my days at Bama, it would have been this, and this, and I mean, like, I don't want like, yo, man, you need to tackle right the fuck now, or else you're not playing.
Yeah,
that's
and
it.
Coach still gonna be successful because he's going to Bama. He's gonna have all the talent in the world. So
yeah,
they're gonna get busy. Yeah, they're gonna get busy like they do. He has all the talent in the world. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, I'm not saying Coach Steele is not a good coach.
Nope.
I particularly are more fond of coaches who can coach the lesser talent, who can coach up what's in the building and produce results. That's more impressive to me. Like, yeah, fam, you can go to Bama and Georgia and get busy. Yes.
Yeah, everybody can.
You can.
No.
You know what I mean? But you gotta, get busy at McNeese State. Son. Let me see that.
Yeah. And he did. That's his alma mater. Like, I didn't understand. Like, look, still now, only thing I can say is like the articles that I read and the video that I watched. Still don't know the cat. Shout out to the fact that I did tweet at him. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, look, I talked to the GM of football operations. Where you gonna be working at? It'd be cool if you come on down to the pod.
Yeah.
Look, man, like he's a teacher. He looks like a motivator. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see how the players react to it. You know what I'm saying? Some might not be ready. Some, you know what I'm saying? You have personality classes. Like, people understand, like, for these players and these coaches, it's a job too. Like, everything has to work together. Like Zoe told us, man, when 85 players are working together, you become a mountain. But the rest of that is when 85 players together also get along with that staff, relate, you know what I'm saying, want to play for those coaches and that staff, then it becomes insurmountable. Yeah. Right, then you become a Georgia, then you become a Bama. Yeah, that takes time to build, man. Like, the reaction to it was, it didn't make sense to me, man. Like, I don't, like, you see these stats, we're like, oh, but who did he do it against? Like, completely omitting, like, yo, who did we play? Like, we were 5-7 against teams that were bad. Like, it wasn't like we only played one good team that whole year, which was Clemson. And Florida State.
Like we in the illest conference in Nebraska. Like, we not.
Yeah. like we just came out of being SEC champs or something. Like, what are we, like, you seen what we look like? Yeah, but who do you do it against? Like, if we're going off that, we should have dominated everybody we played. Yeah, it did. Like, they showed up. That I saw like the highlights, a 20-minute clip of the extended version of that game against Notre Dame. So that defense was dominant, man. 3 interceptions, playing every time on the other side of the line of scrimmage. That's against Notre Dame. That's playing. I was like, I'm looking at this shit. I was like, when the fuck was the last time Miami looked like this?
Yeah, against Notre Dame in 2017. You
know what I'm saying? Like, that was it. Like, that was the moment, and the Virginia Tech game the week after. But that was it. Yeah, like they were just dominating the line of scrimmage. We're like, yo, you ain't getting nothing today. Yeah, nothing. Yeah. I couldn't remember. It was like they did that with smaller players. You know what I'm saying? With
your athletes, man. Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't look, man. And the thing that I don't understand about it either, and this is getting into like the Guidry reaction. The thing that was crazy was, like, it seems like people are openly rooting for these hires to fail when we're Canes fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you wanted to touch on that, and I know you want, but it didn't. It was like, oh, this ain't it. I was like, fam, like, we hired a superstar staff last year, and we were 5-7 and pathetic. Like, everybody we hired were winners at everywhere. We could talk all the shit now about Josh Gaddis, right? Yeah. When we hired him, we were not talking that shit.
Yeah,
like, everybody was hyped. Like, everybody want to be fucking revisionist history on their own shit, on their tweets, acting like we can't go back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't. If the guy comes in wanting to win, how are we gonna be like, oh, this ain't it, Mario? Oh, you messed up. Like, what are we talking about, man?
Yeah, stupid. We all need to see it, man. Like, I'm always in a wait and see, man. I say this all the time, man. I got faith in God. That's who my faith is. My faith is in God, man. Never in man, son. I need to see it. So even with Coach Cristobal, son, I need to see it. What happened at Oregon? That's past tense, baby. You know what I mean? I need to see it. Coach Guidry, what happened at Marshall? Beautiful. That's past tense, baby. I need to see it at Miami, man. Whoever the OC is, I need to see it, brother. You know what I mean? So that's all it is. You know, that's all it is. It's nothing wrong. You know, there's nothing wrong, you know, with it. But you know, and there's nothing wrong the other way. If you have complete faith and you think Coach Cristobal the greatest thing ever, and you have complete, hey man, that's dope. That's dope. I mean, you know,
I respect it. Yeah.
Yeah, I respect it, fam. You know,
yeah, it just
I hope you believe in us. I hope you believe in us like that. So
for real, man. Like there's people who believe in these people that they've never met. That's always wild to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never understood that level of stand, fam. Like I haven't. Like if I've never met you, I can't vouch for you. I'm not gonna openly argue or fight with somebody on Twitter about it. Either way, I'm not gonna go back and forth. Like I see it. I saw Marsh tweeted something there. It was like, oh man, I went back and forth. I was like, you know what I do? I look, I reply in my mind, and keep scrolling. You know what I'm saying? Because what am I gonna accomplish here? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not on Twitter. Like, I'm not gonna respond the minute he responds and be like, oh, see, you lost something. Then by the time I come back, like, what was I thinking? What am I doing here?
I'd be really curious about the thought process of people. You know what I mean? I was up, fam. I was up till 2 a.m. You see me up late. You know I don't be up there.
Son, you go to sleep at like 9:15, man. When you text me back, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe you were
going back and forth about, LeBron and Mike. You know what I mean? I was just up, just to have fun. You know what I mean?
We should have that conversation at the end of this. Episode.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No. All right. So, Coach Guidry, man, welcome to the U.
Yep.
I hope you get busy. Your family, welcome your family, man. You and your family to the U. Let's get to work, fam. Hopefully this OC hire. I'm hearing things we don't know. We didn't decide to touch on that, but there's some things out here that that's
you got something.
Said,
what you talk about? Can we talk? You want to talk? We'll talk about it right now. We'll do this shit.
Just reports. You know how it go, man. That Jason Candle might have fell through. Apparently, that was the word that he was on board. It was looking like he was on board, but some things have fell through. Like Notre Dame reached out. Yeah, he's cool with Coach Freeman over there, and might go there. And he seems like a Midwest guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I moved on from him.
Yeah, that may be a wrap. So. Now the name is the Eagles guy. You know what I mean?
Brian Johnson.
You know what I mean? So, and we don't know, son. Nobody thought Coach Guidry was coming. Nobody had that name. Nobody.
Anybody who says they did. Anybody who says they did, they lying.
Nobody.
But nobody, son. Nobody.
So it could be somebody out of nowhere, son. You know what I mean? So
what's crazy about the Guidry thing and people reacting to it because of where he was coaching. We act like coaches can't coach because they're in a different, I'm saying, like, and what's called now the Group of Five. It's just a different name, yo. This was all Division One. This was all Division One football.
Everybody came from that. Everybody came from somewhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
How many people just started out, at Bama or Clemson or something, you know what I mean? Everybody came from somewhere, you know what I mean?
Son, remember Jim Tressel for Ohio State? Fuck Ohio State. Youngstown, right? Like Youngstown State.
Yeah, Ohio, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we, like, this judgment to like, oh, he's the Group of Five. So what? Coach is coach, man. It's not a different, they don't have different rules in Group of Five. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't score 18 points in a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Like some wild shit. Like it's football. It's football. It's still run, block, and tackle. Right? Like what are we talking about? It's not any coaches coach, teachers teach. This is what it is, man. It's crazy.
This OC hire gotta be it, man. Because the defense, if the defense improves even marginally, man, like we were. we were like 65th in the country or something like that, man. If we even improve to top 50, that helps. These categories, like third down defense, we were ranked in like the 90s, fam, in third down defense. I think 100th or something like that. You know what I mean? Yards per play, the 90s. Huh? You know what I mean? Like, if we improve those, if we go from the 90s to the 50s, that's a fantastic improvement. If we have an OC that can score, if you got an OC that can give us 30 points a
28,
game,
30 points a game. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And scoring defense, this cat is 6th. Scoring defense 6th in the country. Let's say we in a better conference, we drop down to 15th in the country, 20th. That's still good.
That's way better. I was either listening to I might have been listening to the White Right Pod or I was reading the article or some shit, but I saw a thing that like, so Guidry's first year at Marshall, because he was there for 3 years, he went from like 98th to 50th, and then like from 50th to like 10th or something. Like, it was drastic improvement year over year as he was there. I might have the numbers wrong, but it was that kind of leap. You know what I'm saying? Where like that level of leap was like, and it's not like he got a whole new 11 players. Marshall ain't like that. Marshall ain't gonna send off 11, 11 players because they can't play defense, and he's teaching a whole new crop of players. Those were the same players from the week before. What's up, man? What you got?
And I got
You got news?
Hold up.
What you got? Son, the face you make is I feel like the face you make when you text me at like 5:30 in the morning because you got some news.
Nah. I got somebody about to jump on right now.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, man, we got a guest coming through. But yeah, man, till the guest on. What's crazy is that, you know what I'm saying, that's what Guidry did though. You know what I'm saying? Like he improved that to that level. That's teaching, that's coaching. And again, Marshall ain't sending out 11 players, man. Like Marshall's not going to be in that level of winning championships. They're just looking at winning their conference.
Yeah, so, facts. And they have Coach Huff, who's a beast. You know what I mean? If y'all don't know, people don't know about Coach Huff, he's next up. Me personally, I'm surprised he's still there. Personally.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I just know I don't know what he's what he's waiting for or whatever, but he's a fantastic coach, man. You know what I mean?
Are there a lot of P5 openings though? That's what I'm thinking. Like, I can't think of any like P5 openings where he could have got that shot to move up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they're all pretty full or elevated from within type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, so that's probably why. I'm saying maybe the same thing as Candle, waiting for the right opportunity. And back to the Candle thing, like that's 2 years that he says no. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just move on and go on to the next.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, coach got to shoot his shot. I'm not mad.
You gotta shoot a shoot with it, man.
Shoot a shoot.
Hey, man, you already know that's my motto, man. But it just didn't make sense, man. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that whole reaction.
Yeah, man. For somebody to hop on real quick,
If we get a group of 5 OC, how mad do you think people gonna be?
I mean, man,
mad anyway, right? Mad anyway.
Man. Cats got group of 5 head coaches in Florida. You know what I mean?
For real, yo.
G5 belly out here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, they mad at us because we getting coordinated. Y'all coaches are G5. What we talking about, man? We ain't talking about the jet, man.
The Novell just got a 6-year extension, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that he better work the fuck out that portal.
Man, I love it. Get that boy an extension, boy, because he about to be. Boy,
at some point, that's gonna hit, man. You can't keep portaling like that. You can't. That's a hell of a gamble every time, man. That's just wild.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I hope so. All right, real quick. Let's jump into before hopefully these guys,
Yeah.
Jordan LeBron, right? Oh, dead weight. My bad. No, go dead weight. Go dead weight.
Yeah.
Staff.
Yeah.
What pod was that? Right? Why right?
Why right pod? Yeah. With Bruce Feldman though.
Yeah.
It's not just Manny Navarro. Shout out to them, man. They reporters. We you know what I'm saying? We fans, so we react to what they putting out.
Yeah.
Sundays. I don't know if they were the first ones. I don't know if it happened. Like I said, there's a lot of dead weight on the staff. I was like, a lot of dead weight. I was like, yeah, expect more people to go. And they kind of like mumbled Big Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of like alluded to him. Yeah, but like I look at it. Give me your reaction on what you think. What I'm about to say, right? Like I think what they're looking at is dead weight is like who isn't pulling their weight in recruiting, right? Like I don't think it's as far as development because you know what I'm saying. Like you would use an entire new staff with players that might not be to the body type that you like, and mentally you're like, oh, I don't know how to improve this player because he's not the weight range that I like my player to be at that position, right? Like some people have that kind of thought process. Oh, you're 295, not 305. I can't work with you on the D line. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at it that way. That's how I'm thinking about it as a fan. Because that's how I think Gaddis saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you don't have the metrics that I need for you to have at your position. I can't work with you and you're all trash. So, D tackle, huge miss all season, right?
Yeah.
Huge miss.
Facts.
You have a transfer in dude that went to Florida State, you know what I'm saying, that we missed. And nobody comes in to fill them up, and you only get guys that are 275, which might be solid, 275 and 290, and like Branson Dean and Thomas Gore. No knock to them, but that's not the weight that typically you want the D tackle to be. So that weight has to be alluding to recruiting, right? Am I wrong?
No, that's what it is. I mean, we don't know, right? We don't know what that means. We don't know what that weight means.
We're making up our own opinion on it. Basically.
Yeah. It could be it could be fit, right? Like Coach Joe is a West Coast guy. I mean, he's far
Yeah, like a couple different plane rides.
Yeah.
Type of far. Yeah.
So it's different. And again, Miami is different, son.
Yeah.
Miami is different, so it may be, that he ain't fitting. Groov, the guest only got about 10 minutes. So
all right, got him. Let's bring him on.
Yeah.
What up, Groov, baby?
What's happening?
Yo, stop acting like you repping that you at work, bro.
Hey man, who let you that hat to wear it on the show, man?
Yeah, man.
You say what?
Your camera. I said, who lent you that hat to wear it on the show, man? People out here thinking you ain't no U fan.
Man, bro, I can't be a U fan if I got a Miami show. You feel me?
Acting like you repping that you at work, bro. You know what I mean? What's going down, man? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Just chillaxing. Causing havoc like I.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Talk to
us
about that.
Topic? What y'all talking about? What's the topic? What's going on?
We talking about you, son.
We talking about you, man. We talking about dead weight, man.
Now we talking about dead weight on the staff. Now I don't know if you saw the Why Right podcast. I don't know if you with Manny Navarro, man, but they were talking about possible dead weight on the staff, possible staff members that may be dead weight. That may be, getting up out of there.
One of my guys, I feel like dead weight is Kevin Smith. I feel like
why though? Is it because you think there's better options, or?
I don't think the backs got better under him. I didn't see any progression. You know what I'm saying, from the backs. I mean, of course, people say, oh, he can't control Rooster fumbling, but you can tweak something. You know what I'm saying, to help with that. I don't know if he was, if it was some type of repercussions for him fumbling or things of that nature. When you have when you have a back that's that's having fumbleitis out of the blue or whatnot, as a running back coach, you got to do something to gain his confidence back, because it can either go one or two ways. So say, like, for example, me, I had a fumbling spell in high school. I think I went like, it was like 200 carries without a fumble or something, like 300 carries without a fumble. And I fumbled like 2 games back to back, like 3 fumbles. You feel what I'm saying? And the reason why I started, it was like it just started progressing more because my coach did a thing where the offensive coordinator, if you fumble, you got to run stadiums the next morning.
So you thinking about that?
Now I'm thinking about that instead of playing my game. I'm trying to be overly cautious. You feel that I'm not being myself, and now I'm force feeding. Now I'm fumbling even more. You know what I'm saying? So he had a talk with the, had to talk with the head coach, and he talked to me and was like, what's the issue? I was like, Coach, I'm kind of out my game. I'm thinking about not fumbling. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, as the coach, you got to figure out a way to kind of help with that. And he didn't want certain back. That, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, bro, like, how you not want Fletcher? You feel what I'm saying? Like, he's a top back in your area. He not the number, you know what I'm saying? He was the number 1 guy on the previous staff. He's a top 10 back in the country. How you not letting this guy commit? He want to be a part, want to rep to you because you chasing an unknown. How you can't turn it down the top 10 back in your
What
state.
about the other 2 though?
I mean, Paris was good, but Paris was nothing spectacular.
No, I'm talking about Chris Johnson and
I'm me personally, bro. I think Johnson is a project. I don't think it's just me. From what I only thing he has special to me is speed. I don't think he has a great feel as a runner yet. I think he has a lot to do. He has a lot to improve on as a runner. I think Fletcher is the more natural running back. But I do think Chris Johnson can eventually be special. I think he's gonna. Yeah. He rooster itch. Yes. But I think he's bigger. I think he's going to be able to put on a little bit. He's going to be able to put on a lot more weight. I think he'll be 210 pounds by the time he leaves Miami. But I think by the time he become a junior or senior, he will be something pretty good. But right now, he's a project to me. He's a project back. So I'm not looking for big things out of him as a running back next year. I think I will put him on special teams and give him some carries. Hopefully the new OC can design some plays, because you need that type of speed to get on the field. And guys like that, you can create certain situations to get them the ball for them to make an impact. Running backs is one of the few positions where a freshman can help you. You feel what I'm saying? You don't need him to carry the load, but I can put a guy like Chris Johnson at receiver if I need to, depending on the type of offense that, you know what I'm saying, we'll be running next year. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully somebody that'll utilize a guy like him. You feel what I'm saying? But he's versatile, but I wouldn't consider him my bell cow. But hey, there's been guys that we didn't think was going to be a bell cow that turned out to be, like Rooster. Rooster had to be the bell cow in 21. You feel me? And then, Cam Harris, so.
Hey, Groov, man, let me ask you, I wanted to get your take on this, man, because, you know what I'm saying, we go back and forth, we chop it up. Who would you kind of envision to be the OC? If you could hire that person?
If I could hire the person,
like realistic though, not like Cliff Kings, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like, it would be Dan Mullen. I would go get Dan Mullen. You know what I'm saying? I would offer him whatever he wants. I would give him total control of the offense. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do your thing. He has a proven track record of grooming quarterbacks and adjusting his style of coaching to whatever quarterback he has. He ran a different offense with Dak Prescott than he did with, you know what I'm saying, Trish, what is his name, Kyle Trask or something like what his name was?
Kyle Trask, Kyle Trask, yeah.
So he knows how to adjust his offense around his QB. Also, he had Tim Tebow. So you see more running quarterback runs. We got a guy like that in Ja'Cory Brown. You know what I'm saying? But he can also scheme up passing concepts for a passer. And we got that in TVD. I think he would work well with TVD. You feel what I'm saying? Much like Lashley did. Because Lashley and Mullen's system is kind of similar far as with like the play action, the little fake draws, and you know what I'm saying, getting the tight end involved and things like that. But my number 2 option, I would say 2A, 2B would be Scott Frost and James Coley.
Yeah.
Scott Frost and James Coley would be my 2A, 2B. But I would not be upset if they did hire Kendall. I would not be upset. I think he runs a pretty good offense. It wouldn't be my top choice, but I wouldn't be upset like I am with the DC hire. I'm not upset with the DC hire. I'm just a little disappointed. You know what I'm saying?
How would you feel about Brian Johnson from the Eagles?
I like the Eagles. I mean, I want to ever be upset with a pro guy, if that makes sense. You feel what I'm saying? I won't ever be upset with a pro guy. Because
regardless of his lack of experience, he's never been an OC, right? I don't think.
Well, see,
he's been coordinator. I think he's been like passing game coordinator.
Yeah,
like
never been an OC.
Like that.
But that's the thing. See, now I will have an issue with that because you got others can have experience that can get you where you need to be right off the bat. I'm not in it for no trial runs. I want a guy that can come in and win because this roster is built to win. Last year, that roster was built to win. We had enough, even with injuries. We still should have won 9 games last year. We still should have won 9 games, even with the injuries. You feel what I'm saying? So I think you got you got to get a guy that has a track record of good offenses. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what. But people. Getting on my case about saying that we should have just gave the DC position to Steele, you know what I'm saying, instead of hiring, this guy.
Strong.
Not Strong. My bad. I'm sorry. I've been messing that up all week. Strong.
Yeah.
Charlie Strong.
Yeah, you good, man. They're about the same age anyway, so you good.
Yeah. So but I'm in wait and see mode with Lance, man. I looked at some film. It's aggressive.
Gotta be.
I definitely like that he's very aggressive. I like that. They play a lot of man. I like that also. But I just feel like, man, with that, bro, I think Mario has to let him hire his guys in. And I think me personally, bro, I would get rid of Wright on the defensive line. I would get rid of him and make Salvell the whole D-line coach, the entire D-line coach.
I disagree.
Yeah.
And then I would because I got to get DVD on the field. I got to get DVD on the field as a coach. You got to sacrifice one of them.
I say Big Joe's got to go. He's the DT. He's the DT coach. We failed.
But I wouldn't be opposed to that. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be opposed to that either. One of them has to go. One of them has to go. We don't need 2 D-line coaches. You feel what I'm saying? One has to go. And we're
gonna need a linebacker coach too. We're gonna need a linebacker coach too. We're gonna need a linebacker coach too.
What does Gotti
secondary? Guidry coach secondary.
Guidry's secondary.
Man, so that's it. So it's gonna be hard to get DVD on the field. If that's so.
Man. I'm gonna throw one out there.
I'm just gonna be real, bro. If we don't get him on the field, DVD is gonna. He's a hot commodity he's a hot commodity in the coaching range right now, bro.
Facts.
He's a very hot commodity. You better not mess around and let Deion get him. You feel what I'm saying? You better not mess around. Mess around and get one of these Power 5 schools that's on the cusp of being good. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna take a lot of kids with him, far as just 24 kids. Because when you think about it, bro, what's the one name you hear every time they talk to a recruit about Miami?
DVD. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's why I think.
You said what? I'm sorry, bro. Say it again. What you was about to say?
No, that's why I think Adai's gonna go. I think Adai's gonna go. I think Adai's gonna go. They're gonna move DVD onto the field, be like co-secondary coach or whatever with the DC, because you can't lose DVD.
Yeah, you can't.
In all the tweets, you can't lose them. I have never seen. I've yet to see it. I don't know if y'all have. I haven't seen one at for Jamil Adai from anybody.
I'm just gonna say this, bro. He's a great coach, but a horrible person.
He's a good coach.
He's a good coach, but a horrible person. He's not a people person, bro. He's not.
Yeah.
You know what
So
I'm saying?
he's like
I don't care to say it. You feel what I'm saying? Because mean, I've heard things about him at Georgia. You feel what I'm saying? So you know, I don't think I don't think he'll be a huge loss. I think you gain more with DVD. Yeah. You gain more.
I agree.
I completely agree with you, man. I completely agree with you. So I think it's gonna be Big Joe. Big Joe's gonna be gone, or maybe Wright is gonna be gone too. Maybe, and you let the DC hire his own guys, man. You let him bring in a D-line coach. Got to, man. You can't do the same shit that y'all did that Mario did with Gaddis last year. Just like moving in pieces. You know what I'm saying? Imagine like a podcast where two dudes don't even know each other and somebody else is like, hey, you and you are doing a pod together. That should be trash. There's no chemistry, man. There's no chemistry. So I think Joe's gonna go because he couldn't get a DT to come in besides those lightweight boys from, you know what I'm saying, from Purdue and Georgia State. Yeah,
two mid guys. I don't call players sorry. I don't think no college player is sorry. I just don't think they're Miami caliber D linemen, D tackles. Yeah. I think you could have did more to keep the guys that transferred out if you bringing in those two, because Jordan Miller going to give you a lot more than those other guys. Jordan Miller actually played well, and I think his name is Roberts.
Elijah Roberts, yep.
Elijah Roberts. Like that leave that played pretty damn good. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss on y'all part. Pretty damn.
No, you good, man.
We cuss, kid.
Yeah,
I cuss all the fucking time, bro. Don't even worry about it.
You know what I'm saying? They played pretty damn good last season. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that goes back to people thinking the grass is greener when other guys come in. So now all of a sudden, oh yeah, did you look at his motor? Yeah, but he's 5'10". It's a 5'10" D. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? I don't care what kind of motor you got. You got a guy. You let a guy like Big Donaldson get hold to him. He gonna pancake him.
Yeah.
Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
right.
you know.
Yeah.
So you know that's.
But those are the. I think like the failures at the positions we couldn't get in recruiting is who the dead weight is. I think it ain't hard to tell. You know what I'm saying? If you can't, you got one guy, Josh Horton from North Carolina, but that was mostly Mario. You know what I'm saying? Mario's doing recruiting for the whole fucking team. That's gonna be impossible to keep that up.
Yeah,
I think the whole. I think he's from Georgia. Ain't the Horton kid from Georgia?
I thought was it Georgia? Yeah, Georgia. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know what I'm
He
saying? Like
Mario can recruit UNC though, I think.
Yeah, he was committed to UNC. Yeah. So you can't have Mario commit. Like whoever failed at their position recruiting the top players is who the dead weight is. If you can't close Cormani, that's Jamila Die, right? Because DVD can't do everything. Like DVD's good, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you need fresh voices in the room. And Jamila Die failed, and failed that with Kamari Rogers. You know what I'm saying? Like he did that same shit. I saw your show with his pops, man. Shout out to you for doing that shit. That shit was cool.
Oh yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
even with Kamani, bro. He wanted DVD on the field. He wanted DVD to be his position coach.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even offensively, bro, it's a lot of holes that needs to be. We need to let only two people. Only person I would keep on the offensive side of the ball. I know Mario is not gonna get rid of Mirabal. I know that. Yeah. But I would keep Phil, because Phil position, he's recruited well since he's been at Miami at the tight end position. Yep. And those guys progressed throughout the year last year. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody was giving Will Mallory props. He had a solid year as a tight end. Joe, look like you disagree with me, but you know what I'm saying? But I have to get James Coley on my offensive side of the ball in some capacity.
Yeah,
if not the OC, he needs to be the receivers coach or the tight ends coach. He coached tight ends at Texas.
I agree with that.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But then you would move Field to off-field analyst, right? If you put him as a tight end.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? Like recruiting, make him recruiting coordinator because he's a monster.
Yep. Yeah, but that's why I keep him on the field, because, like I said, I don't think he did a bad job with the tight ends. That's why Coley. That's why
Coley would do better though.
Who would you like? Who would you like?
Coley would do better. Coley would do better.
He give you the same. He give you more recruiting, and you know what I'm saying. I think he'll develop a little bit more. But
and then you have Field solely focused on recruiting.
Gotcha. Yeah. So who do you bring in as coach?
We got it. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, man, salute to you, brother.
Appreciate you, fam.
No problem, brothers.
You have a good night, man.
Open invitation, man. Whenever you want to come back on, fam, you already know what it is, man. Appreciate you, Groov.
Oh, I'm out this thing.
Yes, sir.
All right, fam. Peace.
Yo, how much time you got?
I got like 5 minutes. I got 5. We good.
We got one more guest, B. Real quick.
Let's do it.
We got one more guest, son.
Who'd you just pull, fam? You can't just. Yo. Oh, what are we doing right now? Let's do it. Let's go. What are we doing? This is almost like a live recording, man. I'm with this shit. I like this. What we got, man? What we got? Who we got coming on, man? Man, that's crazy. Hey, shout out to Groov, man.
Shout out. Taking a cup. That's my guy, man. He was at work. He's like, I'm gonna come through for a minute, man. You know what I mean?
Yo, real quick, completely unrelated. Yo, if you ever have a chance to buy some Carhartt shirts, like Groov was wearing, them shits are comfortable, brother.
Yeah, just regular tees.
Regular tees. They got it's like farmer branding type of shit. They have their hoodies are sick. You know what I'm saying? Their t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, their Scullies, dope. The fabric, top notch, fam.
Son, and NY, Cass was rocking Carhartt all the time, baby.
I 100% vouch for it, man. Yeah. I bought like 6 shirts. I bought one. I was like, I gotta buy more. Bought them in like 6 different colors, fam. Same shirts, 6 different colors. Yeah, man. I did not expect him to say Kevin Smith.
Yeah, me either. I thought he was I thought he rocked with Kevin Smith. You know what I mean?
Did you hear what he said? Like, have you heard that before? That he didn't want Mark Fletcher?
No, I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that. Mark Fletcher was getting recruited. Man.
Yeah, exactly. I hadn't heard that, so that was news to me. So we gotta check on that, man.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
What's popping? What's up with the guest here?
He was coming. He was just in.
But yeah, man. So
yeah, man.
Let's do a little bit of that LeBron talk, LeBron Jordan talk. I saw you going back. Listen, you were up to 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning, son. I had to tell Money because Money was going back and forth. I'm like, yo, listen, man.
I gotta go to bed, yo.
I gotta go to sleep. So
what side were you on? Because I didn't even see the back and forth.
Yeah. Mike is the GOAT. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's the GOAT. But I don't like getting into it because it's errors. You know what I mean? It's not fair to me. You know what I mean? This era is different, and just for perspective, right? How different this era is, right? LeBron James broke the all-time scoring record last night.
Yep. They
lost the game. Like, I don't give a shit about in my era, I don't give a shit about that shit. Like we lost. You know what I mean? And you celebrating after the loss. And your team is trash. Like the Lakers are trash.
Terrible to watch.
So I don't. That's what I'm concerned with. You know what I mean?
Right. Wins
that's
and
my
losses.
concern. You know what I mean? Yeah. Winning, losing. Like we mentioned, I'm a sore loser. You a sore loser. You know what I mean?
Hate it.
I'm
unbearable.
Yeah, okay. I broke the record, no doubt. I've been playing for 20. Yo, that's the thing I said. I also said, yo, we got to give Braun his flowers. He played for 20 years at a high level and sustained it. You know what I mean? 6'9", 250, basketball IQ through the roof. You know what I mean? Great passer, finisher. He's 6'9", 250. He should be able to be a finisher. You know what I mean? Won 4 chips. You know what I mean?
4 and 6
years. You know. But you know, I saw both.
Yeah, we were spoiled. We were part of that generation that got to see both.
Yeah, when you arguing and you haven't seen both, I really don't want to.
I think Jordan's. Yeah, I think. Look, man, Jordan's impact on the game was like otherworldly. We never saw anything like it, right? Like before that, I think NBA basketball was like taped. You know what I'm saying? Even like during the Celtics Celtics Lakers years. Like, who cared about? Oh shit, fam! Yo,
get him in, man. Get him in.
Yeah,
get
man,
him in, man.
Let's go. Yes,
get
let's
him
go,
in.
baby.
Yes,
oh shit.
Yes.
Oh
get
man, the
him
legend
in,
Holsum.
man.
Yo, that's crazy. Oh damn, yo.
He ain't know I reached out.
I ain't know.
He ain't know I hit your line.
This is live surprise right here, man. I ain't know, man.
Okay. Yeah, Joe
man.
called in a favor, you know. So hey, once he gave me that text, I said, I'll take 15 minutes. I got you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Wait, how are you? First of all, man. I feel like I ain't seen you in a long time, brother.
Hey, man, you know, I'm just chasing my dream, man. And as much as I love covering this team, you know, I want to be known as Coach Holloway. What that means is you got to chase that. And, you know, my time in my current area is coming to a close. So therefore, it's time to make some moves. And it's no ill will, no slight, no nothing. But, you know, I got to chase this. And therefore, that means I may or may not have to put this down sooner than later, which is heartbreaking for me. But, you know, I got away from doing Mario Mondays and I just do the Mark Rogers shows. So bit by bit, I just been kind of trying to change all my social media. If you haven't noticed, like it just say, you know, Holloway, like I just been slowly trying to, you know, to move on with my life. And this has been a great part for 5 years. And I'll make sure I stop and do shows with everybody on the way to when it's done. And I'll have a farewell show. But as of right now, that's what I'm chasing.
That's awesome, man. Hey, man, don't ever apologize or feel like you have to say, when you're chasing your dream, man. That's your dream, man. Look, I've been watching you for years, man. Like, you're one of the reasons why I wanted to do a show. I was like, your Holsum just knows, man. So like eventually, hey, man. I'll salute to you, man. Gotta give you your flowers, man. The way you break it down, the amount of hours you spend, the amount of content you gave us will never be forgotten, man. So salute to you for chasing your dream, man.
Yeah, I tell everybody, man, you know, few people I listen to when it comes to football, man. This ball thing, this is serious. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Holsum, one of them, man. Holsum, Coach Hayes, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the man right there. And, you know, to be honest, that's one of the people that, you know, I reached out to. And in this thing that we call life, you know, it's about the people that you have connections with. No doubt. And one of the things he was saying was like, yo, Holloway, man, you got to pick a side. You either gonna be media, and you're great at that, so you could do that, or you want to chase this. And while you're still young, you need to pick a lane and go all in with it instead of splitting your time up between the two. You know, because we gonna love and appreciate you from afar, or you know, wherever you at, regardless, because we know your heart is always gonna be orange and green. But it's time for you to chase that. So he was one of the main people that, and my father, of course. Now he wants me to come back home, but you know, until Mario give that call, you know, as soon as he do, I'm on the first thing smoking. I'm down there. I'm down there. So but you know, eventually I want to earn that opportunity. You know, I don't want it to be just given out or because I was a YouTuber or because of how much I wanted him in that seat. He would love to have me around, but I want to go out there and make a name for myself and earn that job eventually. So that's what we do.
That's what's up, man.
There's no feeling like that feeling on that field, B. There's no feeling. Like, to this day, when I go to a game, I can't sit down. So, like, I'm standing up the whole game, man. You know what I mean? I can't do it. I'm watching TV here. I'm in front of the TV, like, my wife, like, sit your ass down. I can't do it, man.
I'm with you. It's nothing like Green Tree either. You know, as a recruit, you know, my class was 2014. So Chad Thomas, Casey McDermott, Trevor Darling, Mike Smith. These are guys that I know personally, and that we were all at these camps together, especially Chad. I'm pretty close with Chad. And, you know, we had these camps, and of course, I'm 5'10", 5'11", so I ain't going to UM, but I have an opportunity to go to the Al Golden camp. And to be on Green Tree practice field and to see like the feeling of it. You got Alonzo Highsmith standing over there. You got it, like these people they know that we're fans, but they're just there giving back to a camp. You know, just to be able to shake their hands. And now almost think of this. Now I know Joe, you kind of up there, but I'm going on 10 years removed from my recruiting class of 2024.
What? God damn, Holsum. You got kind of up there.
Man, listen.
Just caught a stray right there.
I know it. You know what I mean? I ain't going to deny it. I know why I'm at with it. You know what I mean?
Holsum hit you with the I respect my elders.
Exactly. But it's a blessing. It's a blessing to, to say good morning every day, and it's a blessing to be able to get years and have kids and have a wife and have a home and all that kind of stuff. And and so I admire that about you, Joe, because regardless of your allegiance to this fan base or like to the program, you always keep your family first, man. And that to me has always been very respectful. I commend you for that, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
BC, man, let's hop in this because I really wanted, I saw Coach Hayes talking about it, man, and I appreciated what he had to say. I was like, I gotta hear what Coach Holsum got to say about it, man.
Yeah, Coach Holsum,
man.
So yeah, how you feel about it when it came? Did you do your research yet?
Well, yeah, I had a chance to do one a little bit last night and this morning before I went for my morning lift this morning.
Okay.
And the biggest thing for me is we need teachers, and that's what Coach Guidry is.
Yes.
Like, we've had some of the big time guys come in. We've had people with all these resumes. We've had people with all the hype. We need real, genuine coaches. Now, for those of us that play a little lower level ball, we didn't get a chance to play Power 5 ball or high D1 high level. We know that at the FCS level and anything under that, you getting the no stars, maybe 2 stars, maybe 3 stars at the highest. So therefore, you have to be coaching. You don't have some 6'1" corner who runs a 4.2 who got the arms of a 6'5" dude, and he just clamping stuff down. It don't work like that. No, you have to teach. You may have a 5'9" free safety who just is all football IQ and instincts. He sucks in 7-on-7. People don't know why he out there, but he, for some reason, has a knack for getting in the area, finding the ball, attacking it at his high point. He's a vocal leader. Like, these are the things that I see. And when I look at Coach Guidry, man, I see that he comes from that kind of tutelage. I'm a teacher. Now, he's a defensive back specialist, a place that we have had some issues in, whether it be talent, whether it be communication, whether it be scheme, regardless, Miami has been struggling, especially last season in the secondary. I mean, Middle Tennessee State running for 80 yards, bombs, Tallahassee bombing us over the top, North Carolina, all these different places they had great opportunity. They come out in certain formations and we don't know what to do. We got the eyes big and we eyes that don't know, and boom, touchdown, So that's one of the biggest things that now, again, Coach Hayes always brings up something. Coaching, the only difference between coaching football and teaching in the classroom is one is on the field and one is in the classroom.
Yes,
it's a difference.
Firm believer.
So in that instance, Joe, Ben, what we got is a guy that's a teacher. Now, does that mean Miami jumps to being top 30 on defense? Who knows?
Right.
But the main thing is he gets the young men in the classroom. We sit down and say, what do you know? What don't you know? What can I help you learn? Okay. And that's a hard thing for big time athletes to accept, right? Well, in his scheme, it's a lot of man, it's a lot of quarters. Okay. It's keeping everything in front of us when we in zone, but then there's plenty of time where he locking them up, press in your face, letting them play. Well, that's something that a lot of Dade County coaches do, Broward County, Southern coaches do. Yep. They allow their players to go out into press man or sinking in certain zones where the ball gonna be right there and we attack it at its highest point. But the humbleness of being able to sit the young men down and say, hey, you done had 2 other defensive coordinators in your time. I'm your third. Let's get on this board individually, one by one. Get on this board. What do you know? What did y'all call cover 2 the last couple of seasons? What did y'all call cover 3? What did y'all call cover 6? Did y'all run cover 6?
Right.
Do y'all know how to do that? Do you know everybody knows what a banjo is, but do you know how to properly pass it off? Yep. Do you know what hand signals you're supposed to be giving? And that's when you have those kinds of teachers, it's meeting you at your level and saying, okay, I'll jot it down. Okay, Cam Kitchens, he graded really high. He knows this. Okay, these other transfers, they called it all kinds of other stuff. Where can we find a middle ground? Yep. Okay, cover 2 is orange. Cover 3 is green. All right, that first walkthrough, I better hear y'all screaming, orange, 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 orange. Nope, they motion them over here. No. They came out of 2x2. Now they going 3x1. Let's switch to green. We in cover 3. You gotta get that kind of that flow, that confidence, that into the players. That when we starts in the classroom, it goes to the walkthrough, and then from walkthrough it goes to the practice field, and you doing it again. It's just out on the field in your gear. Again, we walking through it. We screaming loud. We blaring music. Are we using hand signals or are we talking? Well, you can't go. We can't do the hand signals if we don't know how to articulate first. So we do the talking, then we switch to the hand signals. Okay, because now when I'm blaring the music and you in Tallahassee, Florida on a rival game, you can't say orange. Nobody's going to hear you yelling orange. So now what hand signals are we going to use? Is everybody on the same page? Okay, I gave you the scouting report. You graded out on the scouting report. Now on walkthrough, I'm going to just throw something else at you. I'm going to go empty. Do you remember the empty check?
Yeah.
You know what you're going to do? These are things that you have to throw at the young men, see how they respond. But if you so used to having the most talented young men, if you so used to having dudes that's just football players, it's harder for that. But if you got a teacher, they could walk into any room. A teacher could walk into LSU. A teacher can walk into Oklahoma. A teacher can walk into FIU. Because at the root of it all, they're teaching defense. They're teaching offense. They're teaching defensive back. Not, oh, well, I'm the best recruiter. Oh, I got a 6-pack and I'm 50. Right. None of that stuff matter. Can you teach these young men? And when the bullets are flying, proverbially, of course, when heads are rolling and crackbacks is happening, people are screaming and the tomahawk chop is going and UNC is screaming, can you still fall back on your teaching and then just go play? Now, I feel like we might be a year or two away from that kind of viewpoint, but still, we got to get to the basics. And I wish this hire could have been made public a little sooner because camp starts in like 12 days. But either way, the only thing we're waiting on is OC, and y'all already addressed that, so I'm not going to get into that. And, nowadays, it really starts in the back end and moves forward. And all our time of playing, it was the fronts, and the secondary was like, what is it called? Secondary. It was about that front 7. Now it's like, is the free safety really the leader of the defense, or is the Mike linebacker? Because the free safety is all the way back, and he can see the whole field. He can see everything, things that the Mike linebacker can't. And in this passing game, in this passing conference, you got to be able to really get that communication. So I'm very happy that he has a secondary specialty. And then now we can go and make some things move and shake up in the front sevens.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Teaching. I was in the classroom right there. I was taking notes. Like, yo, this is. I was like, what? I was like, cover 6. What are we talking about? I was like, I haven't heard cover 6 in the. I was like, what we? Hey man, like that was crazy. First of all, thank you again. Like this is, when you break it down like that and you just show the ability to teach. It's a lot of credit to you what you're going to be able to do in your future, man. Because me, as like y'all play ball, I didn't play ball. You know what I'm saying? I took the dumb route. I got kicked out of high school. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I was not rocking with it. So you know what I'm saying? Like I did my Army thing. So your ability to teach right there, just in those 10 minutes, all the success to you, man. So I know you're gonna kill that because I learned a lot just from that, man. And break. What I appreciated about Lance Guidry, the little research that I did last night, talking to Joe. Shout out to him being up past 9:15. You know what I mean? That's my guy right there.
He was hurting in the morning, huh, Joe?
Son, he was tired. He was arguing LeBron. He was arguing LeBron and Jordan.
Yeah,
but I was watching Guidry and Joe brought it up, and then it clicked. It was like, oh, it was nice to see the corners actually bump and run.
Actually putting their hands on somebody, man. You know,
because you go back to the Middle Tennessee State game, there was no bumping. It was just I'm gonna let you go and but also not communicate with the safety. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of that happening in that Florida State game. So breaking it down like that with Guidry coming in, and I loved what he tweeted out. He's like, that 22 season for Marshall was Marshall's. This is a whole new year now. And to tweet that out, not to be like, oh, I heard that he said this from his own personal Twitter. That shows a level of maturity and accountability that isn't going to be from a Kevin Steele that is just going to hit you with like a proverb from 30 years ago. Because, I saw Miami in the 80s. Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean that to be number 3. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? I saw Miami in the 80s at the Orange Bowl, and like this whole story to get the older, shout out to them, the older reporters to like them because that's when they were there and they got to see them. So like they kind of, there was a lack of teaching that we saw across the board this past year because we never saw improvement. And
that hurt.
It did.
That hurt, man, because the way I looked at it like this, and sorry to cut you off, the way I looked at it like this, Ben, is like all that experience, him and Charlie Strong splitting linebackers, they've worked together in the past. They have years, decades of knowledge and hours and decades, a year's worth of film research. And they coming from big-time ball, Texas, SEC ball to Miami. You know, you look at that coaching staff, it was an epic failure on and off the football field. Yep. And the main thing is that they just couldn't get through to these young men. I'm not saying Miami was talented enough to go to the ACC championship game and be a 10-win team. And maybe there was just a bunch of young men that just didn't click. And Coach Cristobal came in as the militaristic kind of butthole that we know that he can be. And it really made a lot of them rebel and say, man, you don't know me, I don't know you. So I'm not rocking with you like that. And he probably took all the fun out, took the rings, took the chains, took all that fun and made it about ball. And some young men didn't sign up for that. You know, they signed up for paradise. They signed up for country club. They signed up for fun and hoopla and handing out beers in another coach's football clinic. That's what they signed up for. You know, and shot to Coach Diaz, but it's just like that's who they signed for. Just like a bunch of them who they signed up to play for, they are now transferred to go to SMU to play. How many of them transferred to Penn State? Okay, so they're going over there to SMU, you know, because that's the scheme, that's the coach, that's the vibe that they want, and we wish them the best of luck. But this you is this you. Whether I step away, whether y'all two stop doing it, that you is gonna stand. You get what I'm saying? So we got a guy that holds that up high. And another thing about Coach Guidry is that he's hungry. That's what people miss. Like he's hungry, not just a verbal check. People could do halftime speeches and Martin Luther King, I have a dream all the time. I've seen great ones. I've given great ones myself. But there's something about you getting your first shot. Look at Rhett. Rhett was at small school, UConn. OC at UConn. He gets his chance over at Cal. You know, he got different. No, SMU, because Cal was where Dykes came from. But he got a chance at SMU. That was another bump up. After starting at Arkansas and Auburn in the SEC, he thought he was made. Had to go back down and work his way right back. He comes to Miami and posts 2 top 50 offenses, you know, brought the spread, things of that nature on the offensive side of the ball. And it turns into a head coaching job at SMU.
Man, had the quarterback looking like a Heisman Trophy candidate in 8 games, something like that, man. Yeah.
6. Don't get me started, man.
To your point, Holsum, man, we don't know any of the coaches personally, you know, but I've always questioned motivation with the older coaches. I've always questioned that, man, because you haven't made. You've come from where you've come from. If it doesn't work out, you're gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Coach Steele goes right back to Alabama. You know, Charlie Strong is gonna be fine wherever he decides to go. And you're getting paid. Like I question the motivation when everything is not perfect. When you actually have to teach, when you actually have to work.
The energy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You don't have to do that now. You can. Coach Steele is going to go to Bama and have a top 20 defense with all 5-star athletes.
And guess what Miami fans are going to do? Oh, where was this at Miami? Blah, blah, blah. I get it. And trust me, and look at Coach Diaz, you know. Things didn't work out at Miami. It wasn't like he wasn't trying. I know I loved him in 16, 17. 18, I was getting a little weary. He became the head coach, and I was fired up. Like, hey, listen,
facts.
He saw what he did on defense. He brought the spread in 19. Here we go. And things just wasn't in a direction. It fell apart. It got a little flaky and weird at the end. But guess what? He falls on his feet at Penn State. He has all that talent. Was in the Broyles Award finalist. You know, he was in conversation. So we see that sometimes a new area, when that hunger is fired up again, they spark. But these young coaches, Joe, coming from the FCS, coming from the Group of Five, coming from D2 or JUCO, you know, it's a new spark. If let's say I'm the defensive coordinator at Division II school in Kansas, and I get a chance to get a bump up to even like a Louisville. Like, to me, I'm at Louisville. To other people, it's Louisville. But to me, I'm at Louisville. Like, let's get it. You know, I'm uber excited to show what I have. Where I'm a little nervous on, because I gotta say this before I go. What I'm a little nervous about. What are we gonna do as far as bringing other people that can help make him successful?
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? Every coach has other coaches that they trust, whether they fraternity brothers, whether they're former players, whether they're best friends, you know, whether it's their god brother, whatever.
Mario with Mirabal,
exactly. It's just what happens. You might have somebody where you get hooked on to somebody who skyrockets to the top, and they just take you with them everywhere they go because they trust you, or vice versa. Did Miami give him that opportunity? Because let's be real about something. A coordinator is a mini head coach. So therefore, he is as good as his assistants, meaning his assistants know his language, know this. Again, bringing up Coach Diaz. He had Coach Banda. He had the young
Packy.
man.
Packy.
Banda. He had a bunch of guys that people call him his cronies. Blake Baker called him his cronies, whatever. Those are people that know his scheme. So he don't have to spend all day with the DBs, because the scheme that he learned, he taught to the assistant coaches, and now they teach it to the players, as opposed to a coach having to come in and now teach the players and the other coaches that the head coach wanted to keep on staff the scheme. And guess what, y'all? Sometimes they don't agree.
And they don't get
on the offensive side of the ball this previous season with Miami. Josh Gaddis had a viewpoint of offense and how the quarterback should be played. And Coach Frank Ponce had a different viewpoint of how the quarterback should play and what they should do on offense. And they never saw eye to eye the entire time, resulting in a quarterback having a very bad season after a really, really good season. So I wonder where we're going to go with that. Bringing in his guys, are they just going to be defensive analysts and work their way up to position coach jobs, which isn't the worst thing? Who knows? Coach Adai, is he staying around because this young man, this coach is a defensive backs guy? So, and you know, and I don't know Coach Adai, but from what I hear, it ain't always the best. He ain't the nicest, brightest person. Not bright as in smart, bright as in positive energy. Like he didn't really relate. He didn't vibe. That's what the kids say. He didn't vibe with the youngsters. You know, they didn't click. He's kind of a butthole. He's a real militaristic butthole, like Coach.
You can see he looked like an asshole.
You got DVD sitting there.
I think so. Holsum, to respond to that, right? I think, and we were talking about dead weight earlier, right? I think all the position coaches that failed at their position to recruit or bring in transfer portal players of note are who's going to go. I think Mario is militaristic and an asshole or a butthole, but I think he recognized he can't just bring in superstars from here, and here and try to make it work. And I think there's going to be a lot more coaches, more assistant coaches leaving and letting Guidry do his thing, because you can't do, because then you're just doing the same thing you did last year over again. Right? Like a die can't work. You bring so we've been kind of like speculating on assistants, right? I think Big Joe's gonna be gone. I think
wait.
Hey man, hey, listen.
Man.
We haven't spoken before. This is how I come in 100%. You know what I mean? Like this is I think Big Joe,
not because of anything he's done negatively on the field.
But didn't pick up a defensive tackle, a big time recruit of note, or didn't bring in I'm saying like a game changer and lost one, right? If we're going solely based off recruiting, this is my dead weight. Oh, you got to take a sip too. This is my dead weight ranking, and I'm not saying that he can't
dead weight. Oh Lord, that's a tough one.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one, but it's not big. Look, sometimes it just doesn't click. Sometimes it could be a series of different things, right? But if you don't bring in a big time recruit, or maybe this Miami isn't for him. You already know Miami ain't for everybody. It's real cool on camera, but when you see that energy of Miami, like, yo, I can't stop. Go ahead.
Can I? Quick question.
Yeah. What's up?
Who's the 5-star offensive tackle that he's related to that signed to Miami and mentioned him in his commitment, saying this is a big reason why I'm coming to Miami because of family? Just refresh my memory. You're
100% right. But I'm just saying it's gonna be him or Rod Wright. Some of these guys are gonna have to go to bring in.
Okay. That's a valid.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a personal thing. Like, look, I'm not saying Big Joe isn't a hell of a coach or
can't coach or whatever. Yeah.
Or can't coach. No, it's not. The dead weight thing is just like a term we heard on Why Right Pod that Bruce Feldman and Manny Navarro talked about. Mm-hmm. That they kind of alluded to certain players, and that's how that was their like rating for it. It's not a knock on them that they can't coach. It's just coaches are going to have to be moved to different positions. Maybe analysts bring different people in, and you got to let this DC bring in his own guys, man. You can't.
That's important.
You can't do this again because then same thing. Then he has to sit in the. We all grown here, right? If I sat y'all down in a room to be like, all right, this is how we're going to do it. Hey, man, that's not how I do it. Like, I already have a way of doing it. I have my way. I'm saying you figure it out. And then you got to teach that to the players. That's too many conversations. That's way before you get to orange. You know what I'm saying? That's way before you get to hand signals. You got to have, like, there's going to be grown men in that room on a die, be like, man, who the fuck you talking to? Like, I coach at Georgia. You know do you know who I am? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's already, that's going to be a conflict. That energy's going to be there. That's going to go down to the players. So, let's say Big Joe doesn't get along with Guidry, right? Let's say Steve or Strong doesn't get along with Guidry, or what? You know what I'm saying? Like all these different. Guidry's got to be comfortable. Yeah, Strong definitely gone. So Guidry's got to be comfortable. Whoever the OC is got to be comfortable. But OC's going to be good because he has 4 positions to fill basically: wide receiver, possibly tight end. If Joe's been talking about moving Field to recruiting coordinator to bring in a James Coley. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been doing a lot of chess piece moving, but it's just it's just going to be a comfortability level that has to be put on there for the DC to succeed, because you can't teach the coaches and then the players, and you know what I'm saying, when that's not their verbiage.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think your explanation, once I let you finish, instead of just instantly responding to it's a lot more clarity in where you're going. Where I would disagree about Joe Salavea is one of the biggest things is relationships, rapport, and recruiting. Yeah. Those are 3 R's, right? Well, one of the biggest things we want to be able to continue to do is have that Polynesian connection.
100%.
Because one of the biggest things about Polynesian culture, and the reason why I could speak directly to it is because that's where my mother is. So it's like family is like really big. Okay,
this is the biggest thing. I lived in Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you get one, and it's like within the next,
you got them all.
It's over.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got an entire section of American Samoa and New Zealand. Like, you got all of it. 100%.
Exactly. Then you start talking about Tongans. Then you talk, and that's why I say Polynesian, because you have Hawaiians, you have American Samoans, you have Tongans, different people. You know, all from island folks or Pacific Islanders, right? Having that recruiting base and having Coach Salavea's connection to Arizona, where he played in that state, where he his connection in California, his connections in Oregon, his connections in like that whole side.
Washington.
Now, Washington. Now, again, once you get into the market, now there's gonna be another 5-star guard, a 5-star D tackle, that instead of going to BYU or going to Utah or going to Oregon, now this logo could be in his top 5. Why? Because he sees his cousin, his brother down there in Miami. Not only is he coaching, there's a couple players there, and guess what? They all feel loved, respected, and appreciated in Miami. And again, they start waning in. So that's another thing. I think the main 3 cores that you wouldn't have to worry about departing, and I could be dead ass wrong, and maybe he goes to a different school. I don't know. Just my viewpoint is Joe Salavea, Mario Cristobal, and Mirabal. That offensive line, defensive line, interior core.
Right. Okay.
That's something. And another thing is Coach Salavea's assistant head coach. So it ain't just like,
you're right.
He's just interior. You get what I'm saying? When he was at Oregon, he was a co-defensive coordinator, co-assistant head coach, co-head of recruiting. Like, he's very connected. And one of the other things is talk about players loving players, that genuine connection. This is a guy that prays with the team before after practice and before games. Like, that's the kind of person that Coach Salavea is. So, I mean, that connection and the genuineness, because like we talked about before, it's a bunch of hard asses on this staff. Well, you can't have a whole staff full of hard asses. You got to have some nice guys that'll pull somebody aside and say, hey, man, I know Coach was talking to you he was just upset, and you shouldn't be doing those kinds of things. You can't talk back. Hey, man, he in the portal is not the thing you want to do right now. Let's sit and talk about it. Let's go to lunch. Let's pray about it. Let's talk. Can I meet you? Can I sit with your parents? Let's all sit together and talk. Having that kind of person on the staff is also uber important. As far as not being labeled as player personnel or player relations, but just being that guy, soft-spoken, humble-hearted person that players could turn to. That's uber important. So that's the only thing I would say about Coach Salavea in his department.
Here's my response, and Joe, I'll let you go in a sec. I'd like to take back everything I said about Big Joe, because you're 100% right. Rod Wright can go then. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
If I were to see somebody departing, mainly because his connections are in a whole different state, he don't really have a lot of connections. He don't even have a real connection to Coach Cristobal. Remember, he was one of the last late hires, especially when you got a guy like Jason Taylor who's getting offers from other places that you want to keep. His sons are also playing at LSU. You don't want LSU to say, "Oh, hey, we need a 3-4 outside linebacker edge rusher coach. Come on to Louisiana and coach your son." You don't want that either. So
that context that you gave with the Polynesian pipeline I was like, and he is assistant head coach and all. Rod Wright, thank you for your service, my brother. You know what I mean? Like, I take it all back. The definition of that weight now just applies to you. I just, you know what I mean? Just put it on that. Joe, what you got before Holsum gets out of here, man?
Ain't nothing, man. I appreciate you jumping on, man. I appreciate you for just acknowledging my text, period. You know what I mean? Not saying you don't, you know what I mean? But I'm just, man, we don't appreciate people and things enough. People don't have to do nothing for you, son. People don't have to do nothing. You know what I mean? So when you got somebody who looks out, picks up the phone, answers the text, that's cool to me. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you taking the time out. And I hope you down there, man. I hope, I see you down there, man.
Hey, man, like I said, one day, and my number won't change. And if it does, I'll just text you and let you know when I got a new number. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, it's well known how much I love the program. It's well known that, I have the degrees, I have the opportunity. So that right now it's just about building that relationship and still being young. I'm 26, so not as young, but still learning, growing. And, maybe I'll look up and at 30 and there's a defensive analyst position. Maybe even after one season where something pops. So you never know. You keep lines of communication, keep it, a clear nose, clear head. And all you can do is ask and they can say yes or not right now. I don't accept no. I say either yes or not right now. Those are two answers.
So I got one quick question. If you get a phone call and it has a Tallahassee area code on there,
there's this like button on the side right here, and it's like it mutes everything when the phone is ringing. I'm gonna press that,
man.
I'm gonna click that right there. And you know, if it's that serious, they'll leave a voice message. And you know, it is what it is.
You better go up there and kill it. You know what I mean?
Man, you are.
That'd be hard, son. That'd be hard.
You like the fifth person that has put that scenario to me. Coach Hayes did. My father did. And I have somebody that's there right now as a defensive analyst. Greg Moss is a cousin of mine, which is, Santana's our cousin Santana Moss. So Greg Moss is there as a defensive analyst with the defensive backs. Yeah. And, he called me, and I can't disclose that conversation, but it was hard to let him know. Hell no.
That's hard, crazy. Man. Yeah, that's
hard to tell
a scenario right there. Man.
Yeah, man. Because could you imagine? 5 years covering the program, and the one school that gives me opportunity is the rival school that recognizes my talents. Man, that would break my heart.
Yeah, I would have to think it may be not knocking ability and all, but out of spite, like, yo, man, let's get this dude. Man. We know he a Cane, let's go get him. You know what I mean?
For real, man. The old heads would say at least it's not the Florida Gators.
Oh man,
nah, you can't. Gainesville, no.
Oh gosh,
there's more to do.
I'm with you, Joe. My biggest, so you on this side. My biggest thing, I don't mind the Gators. No, I don't like them, but I don't mind them.
Yeah.
I can't stand Tallahassee like that. I don't even watch them on TV. If they're playing, I turn the channel.
I couldn't tell you 3 dudes on that roster past their quarterback. Could care less. Could care less.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yes.
Hey, man. Hey. Salute to you, man. Obviously, keep us updated with everything you're going through, man, and we'll keep the people updated because we're rooting for you, man.
Yes, I appreciate it, man. Like I say, we're just chasing green dreams, and at the end of the day, 3 best things in football: pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Come out.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Holsum.
Yo, bro. Yes, sir.
Blessings.
Man, hey, Joe, I don't know how you pulled that one, brother.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Yo, that was crazy. That was crazy, man. Yo, you saw me jump. I was like, yo. I saw like, what are we doing? That was wild, man. Hey, man, I got nothing else, man. I think we got time, man. We got a question, man. We got this Panhandle, man.
Get it real quick.
Yeah, let's do this real quick. All right, man. So Panhandle Kane, shout out to him, man. Always got questions. Yo, real quick. Dude got 8 kids, yo. Panhandle Kane, you know what I'm saying? Danny Grotto, he got 8 kids. Shout out to him, man. He said all of them Alabama fans. He's the only Canes fan. Because he in the Panhandle, man. Like you're saying, you drive right over to Bama.
Yeah.
All right, so here goes family. I got a question. Other than the coordinator hires on offense and defense, what do you think will be the most interesting storyline during spring camp? I think it's a continued development of Anez Cooper. This dude is the real deal and just entering the sophomore season. Yeah. I think it'll be hard to keep him on the bench. Yeah. I think he's starting, so I don't think he's going to be on the bench.
Yeah,
to answer that entire.
Yeah, I definitely think he's that guy, and he's working. You know what I mean? He's young, he's hungry, he's working. But I think the biggest storyline is going to be the offense. Yeah. Whoever the offensive coordinator brings in, or whoever Coach Cristobal brings in, I'm sorry, for the offensive coordinator position, I think that's going to be the biggest storyline, man. What type of offense be running? How's TVD looking? The O-line, how's the O-line looking? How the receivers looking? Yeah, I think offensively, the whole offense is going to be the storyline.
Yeah, man. And if y'all guys have watched this far, listened this far, you know what I'm saying? Thank you to everybody, to the new followers, new subscribers. Thank you so much. 100% agree with you, Joe. It's the O-line. It's the offensive coordinator, man. It's the offensive coordinator and how Mario lets him control their mini head coaching positions, right? Like Holsum said, those coordinators are mini head coaches. I need Mario to be the CEO and let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying? And bring in the guys they need to bring in. Offensive coordinator doesn't have the same issues as Guidry because there's positions to fill on the offensive side, so he'll be a little bit more comfortable. I think he's probably going to have either 3 or 4 positions, depending if our chess piece moving here with Stephen Field happens. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with him staying as tight end coach, but yeah, the offense is 100% the storyline. Honest Cooper is starting at left or right guard for me.
Yeah.
If you move Cohen out to right tackle, man.
Yep.
Man, it was an amazing episode again. We continue to grow.
Yes.
Hey, man, I told you this on text, but I want to give you your flowers too, man. I'm thankful for you, man. Like, I'm thankful that you gave me the time and, you know what I'm saying, that conversation 3 months ago now, I think, man. And we doing this together, man. Our pod continues to grow.
Yes, sir.
We never, for everybody who knows, anybody who listens to me, we never do the podcast before the podcast.
Yeah.
The things we talk about is strictly on the show. We don't freestyle it. We know what we're going to talk about, topics, but our thoughts and our questions always come on the fly, man. And what we've been doing here, man, has been amazing, incredible. And hey, y'all just watch what's coming next, man. Because you know what I'm saying, you see who popped on today, man. Shout out to Groov and Holsum. Had that amazing conversation. Yo, Holsum has a lot of Zoe in him, man. Like I wanted it to, you know what I'm saying? Like just his teachability. Like that was a master class real quick. So that was dope, man. So
yeah.
You know what I mean? We're gonna chop it up, man. So hey man, thank you guys so much.
I appreciate you as well, man. I appreciate all the work you do, man. So yeah, brother.
Hey, man.
You know, you put in that work.
Man.
Ben puts in that work, man.
Hey, man.
He texts me all day. Yo, I had an idea, man. That bro.
Yeah.
That work, man.
Hey, man. I'm always trying to improve, man. Like I'm just giving you the same energy you give me, man. The way we're invested in this thing right here is 100. Like this is it, man. We keep it a buck with ourselves on this podcast, and we're gonna give that 100% energy. And the response has been incredible.
Yes.
We're 22 episodes in, man. Like the conversation we had with Malik, let's give that some breath. Like that was because of our listeners that happened. We had nothing to do with that. Like I didn't even see it till later.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And there's people who are talking to us, man, and you know what I'm saying? There's conversations that we're gonna have, man, and this pod is gonna continue to grow, man, and I'm here for it, man. And you better believe you're gonna see us at the spring game.
Let's get it.
You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, we out, man. But remember, it's all about that you, baby. We out of here, guys. Peace.